Redneck Garage. Well, I just got done in the warehouse here, which is the storage building behind my house, and we're ready to get started on the front brakes for the TJ. On some of these videos, what I'm going to do is just like an overall video of doing the job, putting them all back together, and then I'm going to go back and do like some quick videos for instructional purposes if you're trying to do the job yourself, you know, like ball joints or the U-joints on the drive shaft. I'm going to do just quick 5-minute videos where it's just like, here's how you do it. It will not be nearly as entertaining as listening to me speak. So anyway, we're getting ready to do the front brakes because we got that one side finished on the driver's side. And I've got some high-performance rotors straight from China. I'm sure they have the holes in them and it helps the brakes stop, but they look a lot better than the rusted up ones. I took the old caliper and cleaned it off and got it really super clean, and then I painted it with caliper paint. So it's red, but this is the used rotor. I actually can use at least one part off the Jeep without replacing it. We've got our new brake lines, which are stainless steel coated in rubber. That I got these from Morris 4x4. They're custom made for a 4-inch lift. It's really going to be a 3.25 with a 1-inch body lift, but I figured if I got the 4 inches, I'd have plenty of extra line to play with. So that's cool. And we've got ceramic brake pads. Ceramic brake pads, the reason you'd want to use ceramic is mainly because it keeps you from getting a lot of brake dust on your wheels, whatever kind of custom wheel you have. The ceramic pads, they say, oh, it's, you know, premium stopping, but really the reason you want to go with ceramic pads is so you don't get that crappy black brake dust all over your wheels. So that's super cool. We're going to get going on this. It shouldn't take us very long because we got everything brand new put back on. So let's get going on that. Alright, so on the brake job, we're looking at the front brakes, and I'm going to order rotors and pads. I'm going to clean up the calipers, and we're going to do ball joints, tie rod ends, all that crap. So this is all going to get cleaned up, but from looking at the rotor, man, it looks crappy. So I will go ahead and get new rotors for it, and the caliper should clean up just fine. We got all new brake lines. I've already got those in to go all the way from front to back because those look a little rusty, and they got this janky repaired brake line for the passenger side instead of going across. And so anyway, we're going to be replacing that. But this is the first step in doing a brake job. So when you're doing a brake job, basically it's really easy. If it was in good shape, we're going to take out this bolt and the one on the bottom, and that's going to let our caliper slide off, right? Then we're going to compress it just a little bit, and then that would allow you to put new brake shoes on. So let's go ahead and take those bolts out. Hopefully they'll come out easily. So I can tell from the last person that did the brakes, they use anti-seize on the bolts, which was way cool. Thank you so much, whoever owned the Jeep before that did brakes, because that keeps the bolts from seizing up. So we're going to go ahead and take out the top bolt off the rotor and caliper assembly. Now you can see the anti-seize on there. That's nice. And then we're going to have to press back on this to push the piston here back enough to let this come off. So let me get my pry bar and we'll just do that. So I got my pry bar here, and I'm basically just going to pry back on the cowl. You can kind of see the piston moving in, right? And that takes the pressure off the brakes, and then your caliper slides off. Now you don't want to let it just hang. You want to just set it up on something. You can use a coat hanger if you want to hang it up. And there we go. We would be ready to put our new brake pads on. We would take them off. So I'm going to take these off. These are toast. Although they're not that old, you can tell that they haven't been on there that long. These brake shoes are really pretty good shape. Almost brand new. But if we were doing a brake job, at this point, get you a C-clamp, a cheap C-clamp. And you're going to put your C-clamp on it. And we're going to push back on the old shoe. There we go, until it's flush with the caliper here. Then you take your C-clamp off, take your shoe off, put your 2 new shoes on, and basically assembly would be exactly the same as the way that we did it. And then there you go. Alright, we don't like too much. We just have to put our parts back on our caliper. And your clips, these parts go to the bottom that goes on the post that goes across here. So they just kind of slip over, and then these just go against the top. And you just got to pick the right pads to go on to do that. And you tighten up your 2 bolts. That's it. You don't have to kill them. And brakes are on. Now we're ready to put our wheel back on and get started on the other side. Awesome! Okay, so that's basically how you do your front brakes. It's really not that hard. And if there's one thing you can learn to do yourself and save a ton of money, it's being able to put on front brake pads. I've done millions of them. My kids have learned to do it, and man, it's budget brakes is not budget brakes. The only notes that I would say is make sure that you use good anti-seize on the bolts when you put them in the caliper, and make sure that they're greased up on the slides that go back and forth, because that'll make them work a lot better. If you look at the end of the video, there's a link to Redneck Red products, and there's actually a link to anti-seize that you can buy from Amazon if you can't find it locally. Super cool! I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.